GC community. All right, fantastic. Okay, so just to practice our clapping and marching, a tip from our band leader at Elevate Wednesday.
Energy, creativity. What we like to talk about here a lot is, can anybody tell me? Love. And so we are here to celebrate that love is the only thing that is going on. That each and every one of us is that love. And not just a little of it, not just sometimes, not just on special occasions, but every moment of every day. Each and every one of us is that allness of being that infinitude, that infinite potentiality of the quantum field, all of those possibilities, that's who and what we are expressing every moment of every day. And the way that we are expressing it is totally, 100% completely up to us. So we're here to remind ourselves, to remind each other, that we are that love, that is the essence, the beingness, the inception of everyone and everything. We're here to champion that, to embrace it, to embody it more fully. So how does that sound to everyone today?
Great!
Fantastic. Now I would love to ask, and I know the answer to this already, is there anyone here for the first time today? Would you please raise your hand? All right. Okay, so there is Zoe in the back there. Welcome. May I ask what brought you in today?
I am in the process of moving to Victoria.
Okay.
I'm a singer-songwriter musician.
Okay.
Looking for spiritual community and musical
Amazing. All right. Recently moved to Victoria, musician, looking for spiritual and musical community. Well, this is at least one place that you could hang out at. So let's see if it's a good fit. Welcome. Can we let her know how happy we are that she's here?
Yes.
We love you. We appreciate you. We're so glad you're here. Thank you. All right. So as we celebrate all things love, as we welcome new people into our community, we also want to know where and remember where we are doing so. We are on the unceded lands of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples, the Songhees and Esquimalt nations. And we are so grateful to be here now in this incredible, amazing time, in this incredible, amazing moment. And so if we take a look at some things that are important to the Esquimalt nation, learning and continuing to live in a finely balanced relationship with the seasons, the lands, the tides, and the seasons of life that have sustained them, how awesome would it be if we all observed that, if we all championed and revered that? Not just for the people who have stewarded these lands, but for everything. Them, the land, each other, this one incredible, amazing, energetic flow that is happening. Because when we do, we are celebrating, we are revering, we are championing, we are more deeply and purposefully embodying that essential, eternal love that each and every one of us is. So very, very grateful to be able to do so here, to live, to breathe, and work and play, and to co-create together. Pleasure. All right, and so now we're moving into our meditative song. And feel free to sing along. Love, sweet love. And so as we anchor ourselves in love, as we continue feeling the vibrations of that harmony, that phrasing, the gift of music that has just been offered, I am so grateful to know and to feel with every fiber of my being that love is not only present, but love is the very essence of this now moment, of each and every one of us, and of this community that is unfolding right here, right now. And so knowing that with every breath we breathe in the love that we are, with every breath we breathe out love into life, I'm so grateful to know that what we are celebrating here today is the pure beingness of everyone and everything. The divine intertwinement, the interconnectivity, the activity, the empowerment, the unfoldment, the unfurling, the evolution of all that is, was, and ever will be. Pure, essential love. So knowing that our time together is founded and grounded in this essence, in this beingness, in this allness, I simply release my word as law, knowing that our time together is a beautiful, loving, successful, done deal in the universal mind of God, in the quantum field of infinite potentiality. So I release, I let go, and I bask in life's joy, life's beauty, life's loving flow, and so it is. Thank you, Bob. Okay, so this is our last Sunday as a community here at BTC anyway, to look at perspective. You still have a whole week to look at it, on your own. But here, to kind of get together and see what is perspective looking like for us in this moment. And all month long, we've had an affirmation to go with, which is, as I remember the infinite nature of my being, the seeming limitations of life come into perspective. So this is all about what's your point of view. How are you seeing life? How are you receiving life? And based on your perspective, what kind of life experience are you creating for yourself? And so this is an opportunity for us to hear from our community right here, that's you guys, about what's perspective feeling like in this moment for you. So we have time for 2 or 3 shares. Who would like to start us off with something about perspective? Mariana, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So I've been thinking about when I'm having some negative or not supportive thoughts, what's coming up for me of the line I heard is, the story I'm telling myself about this is, and then what the story is, and then is that true?
Yeah.
And then so it really helps to flip the perspective on what I think is true, because I'm often telling myself stories about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. And that is it true? It reminds me of Byron Katie's work. Is it true?
Yeah.
The next question, is it really 100% true? And most of the time the answer is no. And so it also reminds me of, and I can't remember if it was last Sunday or an Elevate that we had, where Mary Kendrew offered perspective in terms of always looking for the deepest truth. And so just discarding whatever lenses or veils or illusions or whatever sort of thing, it's not true, it's not true. This is true. Thank you. Anyone else? Perspective? Barb?
It occurs to me, personally, when I realize that I might be in need of a change of perspective, it's almost a physical. I see it as a metaphor, as a time when I can release my grip on something that I'm holding on to because it's what I've done in the past, and it's very painful sometimes to let go of something that may not even be good for you, but it's what you know, and could be anything, a relationship or a habit, point of view, but that for a healthy perspective, that almost sometimes agony of letting go is essential. And the reward is always worth it. The letting go of what I was holding on to before, it's always worth it. And there's always a good reward that comes with it, because it's a shame that a shift in perspective, and it's needed at the time.
Thank you. So what I'm hearing there is I am hearing openness and willingness to be open to the new and the different and the unexpected, because just because life has been a certain way up until now doesn't mean it has to be that way going forward. Okay, thank you. We have time for one more share. Mary, in the back there.
I'm a Toastmaster, so I have to stay. It's a story I tell myself. I was in Lesia's 90 breathwork class yesterday morning, and I had a huge aha moment. There was an event in my life 5 years ago yesterday, as it happens, and it's caused me to carry anger and resentment for all these 5 years. And what I realized yesterday was that same event set me free. So I changed my perspective.
Lovely. Thank you. I can't really elaborate on that. All right, fantastic. Thank you, everyone. I so appreciate you taking this to heart and really leaning in and seeing what are themes of the month, how they can inform your life, your experience, and all that kind of stuff. And thank you for your bravery in sharing, as you always do. Thank you. All right, so moving right along, our feature tune by Mr. Bob Goodwin. Bob, do you want to let folks know what it is you chose and why?
Continuing on the love theme that we've been doing for musical solos. So, love theme from Love Story.
Two things. I don't know if you heard it, Bob, but there was an audible sigh from about half of the community when you introduced that song. And then the second thing was those sweeping, epic melodies and harmonies and phrases reminds me of a quote by Ernest Holmes on love. Love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Thank you. All right, so my talk today I'm going to start out with, I went to the gym on Thursday to work out with my trainer, whom I adore. He is just the perfect trainer for me right now in my life. And he's entertaining, he's funny, he's switching things up all the time, he's challenging, he's pushing me. And so one of the first things he says always is, how's the body feeling? So I'm like, yeah, this is feeling fine, strong, whatever. And this is what I want to focus on today. And so even though I said I want to focus on upper body, he's like, we're going to do some squats today. Pick up a 35-pound weight. And what came out of my mouth is not what I'm going to say right now. But it was basically, are you crazy? 35 pounds with squats? And he goes, yeah, pick it up. And I'm like, do you remember 2 months ago, you asked me to do that with a 20-pound one, and I couldn't walk for 4 days? And he's like, pick it up, you're stronger than you think. And as I'm listening to him instruct me and support me and encourage me, and as I hear the things coming out of my mouth, there's also the religious scientist observer in me going, what is all this garbage coming out of your mouth that you think you can't lift these 35 pounds? I mean, it was heavy. I don't know who here trains or lift weights, but doing a squat with a 30-pound weight, it's a lot.
Yes.
Anyway, so I grabbed it, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? I just want to get the form right. So I put it down, and I did what he said, perfect, now pick up the weight. So I picked up the weight, and I do it, and I'm like, oh, I did it. Like, it was challenging, but I did it. And then I did 3 more, and he's like, okay, now pick up the 30-pound weight, because that weight, honestly, looks humongous in your teeny tiny little hands. I'm like, okay, fine. Was that your plan all along? Like, pick up the 35, and I'll be okay with the 30? But anyway, it was very interesting to me as he was saying this, as I was hearing myself kind of go, no, 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 and then like, do I believe the stuff that I'm talking about and learning and teaching and inspiring people to empower all the time, or don't I? And so to me, this was a really, really neat reminder for myself as I was kind of juggling these two perspectives at the same time of, this is way too heavy for me at this juncture of my working outedness. And I am the infinite potentiality of universe expressing, and I can do and be anything I set my mind to. And so I just wanted to share that with you because that's what I'm talking about today, about the power of our mind. That's what we're talking about here a lot, but today I'm going to focus on the mind. And so for those people here who aren't familiar with New Thought or the New Thought movement, this is a global movement which is just around 200 years old or so. And the father of New Thought is known as, or identified as, Phineas Parkhurst Quimby. Such a cool name. And he was involved in mesmerism or hypnosis, but realized that you didn't have to hypnotize someone in order to be able to affect the energy that they are by using the mind. And so New Thought really is founded on the principle of mental healing. That we can use our minds in a certain, specific, intentional, powerful, directional way so that we can heal ourselves, our physical beingness. Now, a lot of times it doesn't necessarily feel like that. We get colds, we injure ourselves, we feel tired, low energy, whatever, and then we're like, oh, I have a cold, I'm feeling weak, like this, whatever. And we get so wrapped up in the story that we tell ourselves, it's like our body is controlling our mind. But the whole time, we're just buying into the story that we're telling ourselves, right? We're deciding, whether consciously or unconsciously, this is the perspective from which I'm going to show up. This is the perspective from which I'm going to experience life. And so ours is to choose every single moment. How do we want to show up? Do we want to show up as the perceived limitations of our life? As the perceived limitations of this flesh and blood and bone that lives from 0 to whatever it is? Or do we want to remember that even that flesh and blood and bone and all that stuff that makes up our physical beingness is pure energy, like unlimited, boundless, limitless energy. And when we remember that that's who we are, when we remember that we are love, that we are greatness on demand expressing, then that's what we're focusing on. And guess what? When you're focusing on that, you're not focusing on the cold or the pain or the inflammation or whatever it is, the dis-ease in your body. Because you're focusing on that infinitude and that creativity that you truly are. So Emma Smiley writes in Magnificent Assumption, every disease of our body is caused from our anxiety, our jealousy, our hatred, our bitterness, our resentment, our judgment of others, and most of all, our judgment and belittling of ourselves and our lack of belief in ourselves. If we truly believed in ourselves, our bodies would be whole. And so here, she's not just talking about self-confidence, she is talking about knowing, with a capital K, who and what we truly are. That we are that energetic divine flow that is always moving and grooving its way in, through, and as everyone. That we are the same power that is that blazing sun that for the first time in 5 weeks is actually behind some clouds today. That we are every single twinkling star in the sky. That we are the energy, the intelligence, the allness of being that created all of that. That's who we are. And if that's who and what we are, can a little cold stand in our way? Can some joint inflammation stand in our way? Can the person who pissed us off stand in our way? Well, it can feel like that, for sure. But guess what? It's not so much about this is what's happening. It's like, okay, this is information. I'm choosing to decide something, tell a story about what's happening, but I also get to decide how I want to respond. And I get to decide what I want to focus on. And so I know I want to focus my mind as often as possible on that allness, on that infinite potentiality, on those infinite possibilities of what my life can look like. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's more challenging, because it's an ongoing process. Consistency here is key. So going back to the gym with that 35-pound weight and the squats, I'm still feeling it in my quads today, okay? But you know why I'm feeling it? Because it's my muscles getting ripped out of their comfort zone. You know, they are literally growing as I'm talking to you right now because they were forced, they were challenged, they were pushed to stretch beyond the capacity that was there up until that moment before I picked up that 35-pound weight. Now, do we need to do something like that maybe with our mental work? Yeah, we do. And so my question to you is, how often are you training your mind? How often are you engaged in some mental fitness? Because that is key. Coming here on a Sunday or on a Wednesday or all the other stuff that we have going on throughout the month, that's great. But that's almost like a supplement to what it is that you're doing on your own. And so my question to you is, and my invitation to you is, what is your mental fitness routine at home? How do you engage and activate and expand your mind? How do you up-level in consciousness every day? And if you're sitting there thinking, I'm not really sure, well then it's time to pick some stuff. Try some things out, trial and error, right? Ask some people you know who are vibrating in a super high level of consciousness, what do you do? What do you do to expand your mind? What do you do? Sandy, I know you do something.
I like to cook, make art, read.
Okay, cook, make art, and read. And Kat, how about you? What do you do?
Well, that's a good question. I do a lot of different little things. Some art stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Cooking, absolutely not. Avoiding learning languages constantly.
Yeah.
New language. And just being involved and caring about whoever comes my way.
Beautiful. Caring, being involved, the activities that you both described, you gotta be present in those activities. I mean, you can kind of sort of maybe do cooking or create art or whatever and be focusing on something else, but how much better is it when you're actually focusing on the task that you're involved in? When you're present to every single moment, to every single nuance, to every color, texture, sound, sizzle, whatever it is that is going on. How amazing is it when we use our minds intentionally? And so that's what I am reminding everybody about today, that it is ours to do. Nobody can do it for us. You can come here on Sunday, you can listen to me or whoever else is at the front of the room. You can listen to your podcast and go to your, like those online things where Michael Beckwith and Greg Brayton and Joe Dispenza are talking. But nobody can do the work for you. We all have to do our own mental work. We all have to engage in our own mental fitness routine. And so speaking of, Inez, yes.
I just want to say one of the things that I do, and I'm a cooker, so I don't mind saying that I like to bake, but I listen to good tapes, tapes that have been made by people that are saying what you're saying this morning, that we are really just a speck of energy, and we come and go on the wind.
That's very beautiful. That's very beautiful. Thank you. So you're constantly inspiring yourself.
Yes.
Constantly inspiring. Okay, yeah. So Joe Dispenza is who I wanted to talk about. Who here knows about Joe Dispenza and how he healed himself? Okay, he was 23 years old, training for a triathlon or something like that. He had already done the swimming portion. I think he was in the triathlon. He was swimming. He did the swimming, and then he was on his bike, and he got hit by an SUV. And was told that he was probably going to be a paraplegic, and that he had the choice to either have these really intensive surgeries and physiotherapy, which just sounded horrible, or he could do what he was convinced he could do and use his mind to heal himself. And it took him 10 weeks of intentional, purposeful focus. And he had an understanding of anatomy because he's a chiropractor. So he would travel inside his body and he would go and just repair every single vertebra. And if he kind of got distracted or whatever, he would go and he would start again. And he just focused until one day he was able to get up and walk. This is the power that we all have. Joe Dispenza isn't special. Like, he's super cool and he's engaging and he's got, a huge audience. But he's no more special than any of us, right? This is kind of like the way we talk about Jesus. He was an example, not the exception. We can all be vibrating high at that level of consciousness. So Ernest Holmes also writes, there is but one subjective mind in the universe. It is deductive, receptive, plastic, neutral, impersonal, and creative. It is the stuff from which all things are made. It's almost like it's this incredible, amazing goo that is just waiting for us to impress our ideas, our desires, our dreams upon it, and then it spits it out, and that's our life experience. But remember that in that sea of subjectivity, all thoughts, all beliefs, all ideas of all time, all memories, it's all in there. And so if what we're thinking, what we're impressing upon it, isn't in alignment with what's already in there and being focused on unconsciously, that unconscious focus is what's going to show up in our life experience. So the mental fitness routine is about getting this in alignment with what's being impressed on it, so that this is what ends up being our life experience. And in order for that to happen, we need to be consistent. We need to do whatever it is that nourishes our soul, that feeds our heart, that amplifies our consciousness and expands us into new and different ways of thinking and being. Because otherwise, we're just going to experience more of the same. Our best thinking that got us here, our tendencies, our behaviors, everything that got us to this moment, we're just going to keep recycling and repeating, rinsing and repeating as we go. So we need to try new and different things, and learning new things like languages is a great one, and participating in activities where we are present and are not distracted and focusing on other things, integral to our expansion. Gail.
I just want to let everybody know about the great courses. You can get any subject on a DVD, and we've got about 10 different sets of 5 to 6 to 10.
Yeah.
And they're just wonderful, and they're by top-notch professors, and they're half an hour each. The great courses.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So much stuff to listen to, so much stuff to absorb, to be inspired by, and to have our minds changed as a result of. So yes, thank you. Ernest Holmes writes also in The Science of Mind, there is no process of healing, but there is generally a process in healing. This process is the time and effort which we undergo in our realizations of truth. So speaking of truth, what are all the layers that are muddying the truth of who we are? What are the layers of perspectives? What are the stories that we've been hanging on to and telling ourselves that have, yeah, it's worked until now, but now they're getting kind of cumbersome and achy and tired and whatever, and I gotta let them go. And even though my body feels so weird and contorted as I let them go, eventually, because I let them go, I'm starting to entertain new stories. I'm starting to hold on to new thoughts and think new ideas and have new experiences. Well, look at this. My body now feels fine because I dug down to the truth of who I am, and that's how I'm showing up. Now, Glenn asked me a couple of days ago to watch a series with him that I really had no interest in watching. But I'm watching it, and it's really it's fascinating, it's heart-wrenching, it is quite powerful. Band of Brothers. Anyone here seen it? A Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg war series, which was based on a book. I forget the author right now. Stephen Ambrose. And someone we know, Glenn and I know through the Global Trade Center Los Angeles, was one of the executive producers and script writers, Eric Bork. He won an Emmy for that. So we watched 2 episodes so far, and the episode that we watched last night, these guys this is towards the end of the First World War, and this is Second World War, and it is about Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, and 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment of the 101st Airborne Division. I'll be honest, I don't know what all those numbers mean, but when I saw that, I'm like, that's a whole lot of people who were involved in this if there are these numbers, and this was just one little section of all the people who were involved in this infantry regiment. So these were some of the guys who trained how to parachute out of planes and then go and whatever it is that they were supposed to do, and they were going into France, into Normandy. And so the scene that we watched was nighttime. They're flying at night, okay, in this tin can, which isn't insulated in any kind of way, super rickety. They're all done up in these parachutes and everything. They have no idea what's going to happen, but they have trained for this. And then all of a sudden, the bombs and the gunfire and everything starts coming up from below, and they have to dive into that with their parachutes. And so there are planes that are being bombed and torn apart and whatever, flying around, their wings are getting knocked off, people are on fire, and these guys, they have to mentally prepare themselves like they have been for months on end to get to this point, to jump out of that plane into those bombs and into this darkness where they don't even know if they're gonna land in the right place, which a lot of times they didn't. And so there's a line that one of the main characters, who is actually a real person, offers. How do you prepare yourself? Each man must prepare himself mentally to make that jump. And so when I heard that, I thought, wow. Because not only is he talking about to make that jump, but to make that jump in consciousness, to know that I can do this. I can do this no matter what the outcome, no matter what is happening around me, and in their case, it's bombs going off, it's nighttime, it's clouds, it's other planes being destroyed all around them. For us, it means the thoughts we're thinking. It means the beliefs that we're holding on to that we might not even be aware of. It means what other people are saying about us, what we're saying about ourselves. Those are the things that we can let go of, and we can jump from that level of consciousness to a higher level of consciousness to remember that I am so much bigger and more powerful and profound than any of that stuff that's going on. So that's what that reminded me of. And I just thought we all get to do that any moment of any day. Every single moment is a brand new moment to heal, to grow, to expand, to open up to the infinite possibilities of who we truly are. And so the title of my talk today is, The Mind Controls the Body, not the other way around. Now, I don't know what is going on in this picture, and there are probably a bunch of stories that we can all make up with these kids, but I thought you guys are going to remember this picture more than you would probably remember some kind of like quantum graphic or something that I was initially going to put up. And so the story I'm telling myself here is, whatever's going on here, who's having a better time? Who's choosing to respond in a way that shows us that he's actually enjoying what's happening? They're both experiencing the same thing, but to me it looks like the kid on the right is having a blast. Or doesn't care what he's being told or instructed to do because he's just so in the moment enjoying whatever it is that he's enjoying. We all get to choose like that. Every moment of every day, we decide. So it doesn't even matter, how did I get here? How did this sickness happen? How did I end up in that accident? You can dive into that if you want. But what's really important is focusing on the present moment. Right here, right now. How am I responding? How am I feeling? What is this stirring up in me? And how am I choosing to move forward? Now, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get to that stage, and that's okay. But eventually you want to get to that stage, because otherwise it's just going to be more of the same that you've experienced up until now. So this jump in consciousness, this is about mental training. Something that I invite everyone here to get into, everyone to establish some kind of mental fitness routine. Because like Brian Kelly said in our 90 breathwork journey yesterday, if I always do what I've always done, I'll always be where I have always been. So, like Emma Smiley says, stop thinking sick and start thinking well. The power that grew the body can heal it. So when I go back to the gym next week, even if he tells me, pick up an 85-pound weight, I'm going to do it. Because I know there is that in me. When I focus on the allness of me, then I can do whatever it is that I set my mind to. And I want to set my mind rightly. And each and every one of us has the power and capability to do that. So my question to you is, does the mind control the body? The answer is yes. How much, though, only you can decide. Thank you, and so it is. All right, so now it's time for conscious conversation. I invite you guys to move into groups of 4-ish, so that everybody has a chance to talk. And then in about 7 minutes, we will come back and continue on. We'll be back in about 7 minutes.
There's something in me that says, you gotta try this, like, try it. So, otherwise, when people write down any words like that, so maybe it's word for me too. Once they find a whole
2 in the morning.
Help for me too.
I'm just going to remind everyone that BTC is not just a super cool place to hang out on Sundays and Wednesdays and during that 4th week when we have tons of stuff going on and all these other activities that are happening from other communities renting the space. We are also a charitable organization. And so right now is the time during our time together where if you feel that you have been inspired, you have been up-leveled, uplifted, that mental fitness that is going on has expanded your consciousness in some way, then this is an amazing opportunity for you to invest in your spiritual center. And so the spiritual center, we can look at it from one perspective as it's this building, it's the programs that are being offered. The other perspective, or another perspective, is this. This is our spiritual center. And so when we invest in this, we are investing in this. Because we know that as we invest in this, we invest in ourselves, we invest the wellness of our being, and we are opening ourselves up to experiencing ourselves in new and different and more amazing ways. So however it is you are offering your love today, you can do it by a check, you can do it by cash, you can do it by credit card, by e-transfer. There are a bunch of ways listed there. There's a terminal on the back table. Yep, there is. However it is that you are offering your love, I invite you to place your hands on your heart as we declare this abundance affirmation together. In gratitude I give, in gratitude I receive, by joyously contributing to my spiritual center, I celebrate the infinite possibilities of living life lovingly, and so it is. That was a declaration, yes.
How does one become a member of this wonderful place?
Aww, well, you can become a member anytime. We actually have forms on the back table over there. You just fill it out, give it to a board member or myself, and then you'll be welcomed in due course. So, thank you, Debbie. Oh, I think Glenn is picking some up right. Oh, yeah, it's just one of Glenn's showing it right there. Yeah. So, with this joy that is being experienced right now, with the growth, the expansion of BTC, with the gratitude and appreciation that we are feeling, I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze one more time, and let's just allow for that appreciation to grow. For the love that is ever present within and without is the only thing that is going on. That it is here always to guide and nurture and support, to inspire us to step into a greater expression of who and what we are. So I'm grateful for every single blessing, for every single offering of love, knowing that it goes forth to heal, to prosper, to bless our VTC board, to bless my colleague Sherry, to bless every single community member who is here, for every single community member who is on their way, for every single way, because there are infinite possibilities of it happening, for every single way that VTC is evolving and becoming what it can become. I'm so grateful for all of it, knowing that all of it is unfolding with absolute beauty, harmony, order, intelligence, and spiritual perfection. So grateful for it all, and so it is. All right, some announcements. Healing Circle happening here today, right after Celebrate Sunday. We're going to gather in a circle. There are already prayers filling up the prayer box. No experience required. This is an opportunity for us to come together as an intentional circle to pray affirmatively for whomever it is that requires some spiritual support right now. All right, this July and August, normally the activities going on the fourth week, they're all paused. So music and mantras will return on Monday, September 23rd. Elevate Your Creativity will return on Wednesday, September 25th. And Radiate will return on Friday, September 27th, with a whole bunch of new programming, new offerings, all that kind of stuff. If you would like to become more involved in the VTC community, we welcome your service. So however it is that you'd like to be involved, please let us know. You can let me know, you can let the board members know, you can write an email, and we will champion you to have whatever it is that your talents and skills are shine in our community as we build community together. What can we know for you? If you haven't already filled out a little prayer request for today's Healing Circle or for this week's prayer, you can always email prayer@victoriatruthcenter.org. That comes to me, and then our VTC prayer team will pray for you and or yours affirmatively. And if you aren't already on the newsletter, then I invite you to sign up. There's a clipboard on the back table there. It is the best way to know what is happening at VTC and when. Community announcements. No Celebrate Sunday here next Sunday, okay? We've been talking about this for about a month and a half, and that is because Daniel Nahmod is coming to town, and not only is he doing a concert on Saturday night at First Night United, but on Sunday, next Sunday, he is speaking music and message at First Metropolitan United. And so we're going there as a community to hear and see Daniel Nahmod and to support our friends at Unity Vancouver Island who organized all of this and having him come up from California. Okay? Spiritual Perspectives, a brand new offering in conjunction with the Victoria Multi-Faith Society. The first one is happening here on Sunday, August 11th from 2 to 3:30. And our hot topic for the community conversations on hot topics is social media. How is it impacting your life, the life of people you know, the kids around you? So various people from various faith communities are coming together, and we're going to talk about it. All right? Okay, does anybody have anything to add? Anyone, anything to share for the community today? Mary?
I'm just going to put this out here. I was reading this morning and I spoke to Zoe, who is here for the first time, and she told me she came all the way by bus from Sydney this morning. And I'm just wondering if there isn't somebody that could help her, even if they can't go all the way to Sydney, make it. I can't imagine taking the bus to Sydney, but I just thought I'd put it out in case there is someone that can. Oh, thank you. Oh,
yay! Right on. Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that, Mary. I know that we're in Brentwood, but you have to come super early to come with us on Sunday. So a couple of options. So yeah, great. Right on. Okay, so I invite everybody to stand up. We're going to sing our final tune. It is a call and response. So you guys are singing the red parts. I'm going to sing the purple parts. And we're all going to sing together.
for another Celebrate Sunday at the Victoria Truth Center. We love you, we appreciate you, we're so glad you're here. We will see you next week. Bye.